You know, what they're going to do is they're going to play field position. They're going to use their special teams to flip the field. Then they're going to use their good defense to keep you down there. Then they're going to get the ball on short fields, 30, 40 yards, 50 yards. And then they're going to do what they do. Do I think Bergen can go 80 yards drives on Joe's like Joe's can go on Bergen? Hell no. But I think that Bergen is going to play disciplined football and use their special teams to exploit the flaws that's been with Joe's for years. Since Augie Huffman has left, Joe's ain't been able to field the onside kick. So I wouldn't be surprised if they flip the coin toss, Bergen defers the ball and kicks it onside and get it right back and score with half a field, and we open up just like that, and that crowd going wild. Keep it a buck. We here in the studio.
A lot of these offers don't be that real, so it's not committable.
That feel like when everybody's getting their turn and it's not yours. What they call you? The Godfather of New Jersey.
Powerful man. I ain't gonna brag, but that's what they said. I ain't say that.
Yo, we back, man. Yo, apologize for the delay. We had some technical difficulties with the sound crew. We lost all of last week's show, which was a real good show. My boy Nas was on his thing when he was tired, man. I liked him there, you know. So just a quick recap, man. I'm sorry y'all got to miss it. It might seem intentional because we got on the Shabazz situation, and they didn't have their get right game already. So you know, they got lucky. We can't even go back and visit that, man. We talked about, you know, what's going on with Shabazz, what it takes to build team chemistry. Talent alone can't win you a championship, you know. And fellas is learning that the hard way, you know. Although they're a super talented team, you know. This is part of this game, man. This game of football is about, you know, the brotherhood too. That's not just the thing, right? You know what I'm saying? That comes in play with coaching, and that comes in play with the players bond and trusting each other and all of that. So, you know, I guess they went back to the you know, drawing board and came out and put up 40 this week, huh?
48, something like that.
Part of that.
We got a little chippy at the end, but that was just like, But 48 ball, bounced back, you know, had a bye week. Now we getting ready for Glen Ridge and then, you know, playoffs. But Glen Ridge up next, yep.
So in that week, do you feel like you see something different at practice? Is the atmosphere, is the energy different, or you just, you know, play a good?
I'm from Missouri, man. You know, you gotta show me. You know, it looks good, you know, but looks could be deceiving, you know. So, but they gotta show me. That's all. That's the only thing I can say.
When you move to Missouri, because you be giving out the props without the show me. I mean, we're not even gonna get on Paramus Catholic. You're a sleeper. Right? What they showed you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I hate to jump off of that, but since we talking about show you.
PC let me down big time. When we talked about it too, before that, another show, the audio got messed up, but we would just want to know, you know, do Russo need that other big person next to him? You know, is he ready to step out on his own to kind of make it happen? Because we saying that they have the talent. I don't think nobody denying the talent. You talked about the big DBs. You saying those came from New York. We talking about Catino. We talking
Adrian
about
Lane,
Xavier Williams, my boy, the running back, your guy. Yeah. So and obviously King and Massey. You know, they got a bunch of quarterbacks, you know, in the stable. They got the Miami commit. They got
the sophomore kid that's garnering high D1 offers. You know what I'm saying? That's 2 Power 5 kids on your O-line. Not to mention you got another 6'4" kid over there on the O-line.
But you did say this before that you remember that time when PC had Rashawn Gary, Drew Singleton, Corey Bowles.
Yeah.
The names
Donald Stewart,
and they went 3-6.
Yeah,
they went 3-6.
Yeah, that was after Partridge left.
Yeah,
you know, and it was a horrible season. We had an opportunity. I believe that season was hijacked by the quarterback play, because in those 3 games that Paramus Catholic did win, The quarterback played halfway decent. The other 6 games, he played, not good, right? To put it politely. You know what I'm saying? He played not good. But so when I look back at that, I feel like they had an opportunity to actually, they started off like number 4 or 5 in the country that year, Rashawn Gary's senior year. And I believe they had an opportunity to really compete for a national championship. They let it walk out the door. Anthony Brown from St. John Vianney had attempted to transfer to Paramus Catholic, and he was bringing 2 Division I linemen that were twins. They both went to Rutgers with him. And he didn't even want, a lot of these kids, I need to know I'm starting before I transfer. See, he didn't even want that. He just wanted an opportunity to compete. And
who's that?
Anthony Brown.
Oh.
They didn't let him in. They wouldn't let him in because they was concerned about a sophomore quarterback's feelings.
The same Anthony Brown that played with the Baltimore Ravens?
That same Anthony Brown. So now let's look at it, right? So it's either the quarterback play was to do with that, right? And I'll say that was more Russo's team than it was Westervelt's team, if I'm being honest. John Westervelt was the face, but that was Russo's team. And with that being said, the following year, Sabella comes in. And they give Cha-Cha and Andrew Brito. You know what I'm saying? They roll the ball out, and he wins the position.
Gatorade Player of the Year.
Yeah, and won a state championship. You know what I'm
5-7.
saying? Yeah, because he got the job done. It wasn't pretty. They didn't like the way the kid looked at that height and all of that, but he got the job done. And sometimes what I believe happens with people, we have an idea of what, a certain position is supposed to look like: height, weight, speed, and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And sometimes there's outliers. Like there's outliers that's just ball players, which is what Brito was. And Sabella noticed that, and they won a chip. And haven't won one since.
Well, I was doing a little bit of research on PC, and when I think about it, besides for the people that they play, it seems it's a defensive thing. Defense wins games. And besides for Delbarton and DePaul, they put 40 or at least 27 up on everybody. Their lowest scoring game, besides those 2, is 27.
Well, I like to say who they played with for Dan besides those 2.
Oh, okay. I mean,
yeah, that matters.
The Cleveland team.
So that matters. And that's the thing.
The Cleveland team.
Cleveland team would be the equivalent of, we got a great Caldwell team here that hasn't lost in years, right? Okay. In their pool, in their neighborhood. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's what Cleveland Heights is. For those of us that know the football around the country, that's what that is. And it was smart, right? I often say to Nas, if St. Peter's had scheduled the way Paramus Catholic and the way Pope John scheduled to build your team's morale up, before getting into that real fight, they right now will be sitting on a 4-3, 5-2 type of season. Bosco as well. But those 2 have 2 of the most ambitious schedules in North Jersey. And because of that, that's what happens with your schedule. Paramus Catholic, if you look at the schedule, it's no coincidence that Russo was supposed to be out, I believe, 3 games, the first 3. So that was smart to set up games that was manageable with, your head, your mastermind being out. You look at Pope John, they've had a
But they still went to the wire with those teams.
Well, let me just get through this and we can go back to that. You look at Pope John, they had a rough it's been years. I'm not going to say last 4 years. It's been years. So I think it was important for them to get some games that can give their kids some confidence. But here we are. We're back in Jersey, PC. We're back in Jersey, Pope John. And you just see it's more of the same. But now let's move on to what you're saying. I'm sorry.
No, don't worry about it. I want to know, do you think they could turn it around for the playoffs?
Who is that?
PC.
Because you got to remember that they still got the talent.
Yeah, when you got talent, that's called a puncher's chance. But for me, all right, let's just go back to last week, right? Who was that? They just played Seton Hall Prep. If we're being honest, the stats and the numbers don't show certain things. If you watch the game, Paramus Catholic could have easily won that game. They're overthrowing, underthrowing. There's a lot of things going on, in the past game there, right? Not to mention the defense, right? The defense it's awful, put politely. So no, I don't think so. I mean, I think we got the data now that says we know who they are.
Okay. Yo, you know what I'm thinking too? Just sitting here just now, it hit me. It's the teams that built from the ground up that had those same kids on freshmen or whatever it was. And some of the kids might have jumped from freshman to varsity, but when they came together, they've been in the same school. Those are the guys that's winning. The guys with the transfers, they're suffering.
Wholesale transfer. Like, you know, 1 or 2 here, I think they can go into your culture, right? You know, but when you bring wholesale,
Yeah.
10, 8, that's a lot of different cultures to bring in and try to make them into yours, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good point. We should probably continue it because you think about number one, you have Kaj, Naeem, they all been playing there.
freshman year.
They don't have any transfers. They have a whole bunch of other seniors, but they're Joe's their 2025
Now
class
it's okay to
been
get a
together
sprinkle
since.
transfer in here, but when you
Yeah.
have that,
That whole
that
But
group,
group,
yeah,
that big group,
yeah.
it's
That's you're
fun to
right.
show.
Yeah, I mean we don't know. I don't know
Or
exact
whoever might
numbers
have
for
had the
Delbarton, but
weaker
it's the
freshman
same.
team, you can see them kind of they're getting hit on a little bit right now. You know what I mean? But
good point. Yeah, because I was talking to a guy I respect out of East Orange. Son plays at DePaul after the PC game, and this is a couple weeks ago when they first took the look to Pope John. He said, "Oh, they got more transfers coming. It's gonna be on when they get them." And I'm like, "Well, what's wrong with what they got now? Like they got what every team coach would love to have.
That's right.
They got size, they got speed, they got toughness. Like at what point, do you say?" You can't upgrade no more from what you have unless you're upgrading by saying I'm gonna make sure you don't have anything, Nas, so now I can roll the ball out and just beat you. But other than that, like, you can't, at some point you just can't get no more better than you are than the other teams as far as talent.
Gotcha.
Now you have to coach them.
yeah. So our next joint was
So we didn't really finish it. We'll finish up
sorry.
on the Publix real quick. So Montclair versus Irvington, that was 27-0. Your thoughts on that?
they said James Franklin was there.
Yeah.
And he's seen other kids that was late, like in a recruiting process that he liked, and one of them was
Then
the DN, yeah,
Pope.
Ja, yeah, they liked him, and hopefully like other people get involved with that. You know what I mean? Like don't let somebody else tell us that our kid is good when you know what I mean you can see it. So he's definitely doing his thing, and he did his numbers. My boy Bubba struggled, faced that, little bit of adversity, but I look forward to him bouncing back. So shout out to Irvington, you knocked it off,
Next up is Union City versus Lincoln, 35-0.
clapped him, shout out to Gisela, Jazia Zealous, you know what I'm saying?
West Orange versus East Orange, 29-6. Moving right along to the
Please.
Nah.
Yo, that video was hilarious.
Tell the people what we talking about.
So East Orange.
I tried.
So West Orange had a video after West Orange and East Orange is a big rivalry game. So they had a video out, and it had East Orange doing their famous chant, and then next thing you know, it had a bunch like a clown faces, and then they had like baby shark like because they the sharks.
Who's the Sharks?
East Orange,
Okay.
they go by they sharks, do all stuff like that.
And so West Orange is saying they baby sharks.
Yeah. West Orange, they beat them 29-6.
Yeah.
29-6. So shout out Adonis, Noah, the guys up there that's got it going on. Shout out to Wimberly, he's doing his thing. They got a squad up there, man. Coach Grant making this run right now. I think that game right there might have eliminated East Orange campus from the playoff.
I think they win this, right? Or they won route 1 and 9.
Yeah, I think it was like 1 and 4. They on their way. Yeah.
By the airport. So
For those y'all don't know, man, out in Jersey we got it's these road markers, right, that let you know when these two routes run parallel or adjacent to each other, Route 1 and 9. So, you know, when Big Body Nas say they headed Route 1 and 9, it's kind of funny because that's over there by Newark Airport. You know, you catch Route 1 and 9. So when you hear him talking about Route 1 and 9, he ain't quite talking about, you know, the road. He's talking about the record.
The record.
Yes.
So.
Okay, that was
Shout out to the public.
shout out to the public.
Good luck
So
this week, whatever you got
for those of y'all don't know, a lot of teams had a bye week. A lot of teams had off. Wasn't a lot of action this week. You know, most of the action happened last week. You know, and I'm gonna let my brother here off the hook because you know they got some things done to him and that wasn't supposed to get done to him over at Shabazz last week, and we talked
Keep
about
coming back to that. If it's not out there, don't dwell on that. Please,
But I'm tired, so we
waste
gonna move
of
on.
a good show.
We had who else we had though? We had some other good.
We
things
did because we were
happening.
talking about Delbarton and Pope. We'll get back to that when we get to that part. We're gonna get there, yeah. So we basically talked about PC and Seton Hall Prep. Did y'all want to go back through that?
Go into that because coming into this week, I was officially done. I don't know. Maybe I picked them against Seton Hall Prep. I said I'd give them one last shot, or I was officially.
No, I think you took Seton Hall Prep. I was the only one that took PC.
So I took Seton Hall Prep, and the reason why I took Seton Hall Prep is because you know the jury was out deliberating for a while on PC, but after what was it DePaul? They played DePaul. I started to get a feel of what we might be dealing with there. And I just felt like if what I was feeling was true, then it was coming down to, like we talk about, that tight unit, that together unit, that culture, and Fitz being the X's and O guys. And I felt although Seton Hall Prep had only won one game at that point. Yeah, they only had won one game. They played stiffer competition than Paramus Catholic, and I thought they'd go in there and handle business.
All right, well, we'll get to who everybody plays when we come back around. Donovan Catholic played Rumson. It was 28-9. Red Bank Catholic played Middletown South. They won 25-14, Red Bank Catholic.
Yeah, so that's what I was saying. Okay. Shout out to Middletown South, right? Public school, powerhouse public school.
Back on that?
No. Back in the day. Back in the day. I'm saying back in the day. But they must have played them tough. You know what I'm saying? They played them tough.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, Seton Hall Prep played them tough too.
Yeah, but Middletown South is a public. Yeah.
But those are big public schools, bro.
They got two of them in the same high school in a small town. Yeah. Middletown North and Middletown South.
Okay.
Imagine what that would be combined, but yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. Right. And then moving on up goes to Big Delby and Big Pope. So
yeah, we picked that.
Right. So Delbarton played Pope last week. Nas took Pope. Yes. I took Delbarton. Lenny took Delbarton. And the reason we gave real rationale of why I thought that Pope wouldn't beat Delbarton. And that was that they weren't going to be able to stop the run game. Okay. And if I look back into a lot of the history of them playing this season,
they struggled.
Everybody. You still took Pope because
the reason why, because I'm just big Popey. And then
also it was my boy down the street.
I believe in Pope.
You don't believe in Pope?
No, I do.
You don't?
No, I believe that they could beat Delbarton.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, well, they did.
Because it's back to what I'm talking about. It was back to what I'm talking about.
So the score this week was 36.
To what?
30-6.
Oh, 30-6.
Yes.
30.
So
30 Delbarton, 6 Pope.
Right.
Yeah, I got you.
So what
happened was,
yeah, tell me.
Pope John really shut them down in that first quarter, though. That running back that y'all was talking about. Mm-hmm. First quarter, he shut them down.
Yo, do you know for every 50 yards he ran, the refs brought him back 60? They ain't shut nothing down.
That was in the second quarter.
No. He came out eating. Trafford came out eating, bro. You jumped in the shower. I remember. You jumped in the shower, you got out, and it was over.
And it was lights out. It was lights out. It was 17.
But they shut. You know what happened was they came out.
And that was before halftime.
They shut down. They shut down Pope John running game.
Right. Mm-hmm. And that's what I said was going to happen.
That was a big piece of that.
Right.
And shout out to the quarterback, Chris Diedrich, that's his name.
Yeah.
he made a pass to see why he is high like that. He stepped right in that pocket while that kid was blitzing and completed. That was unbelievable. I salute to you, young man. Real talk. Like, you deserve a lot of flowers too. He's a good quarterback. Now, because you looking at me all weird, I know you ready to say something about.
No, I ain't gonna say nothing.
Shout out to Delby. Delby got theirs off. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to
Good job.
Delbarton. Just
All
giving
right.
their
Big Pope,
averaging
we
right
love you,
now
Pope.
33.4 points per game. They're allowing an average of 12 points per game, so they're doing their thing. I guess we'll give them their flowers.
Who we got next?
Hold on.
Fun-
Hold on. Before we go anywhere, though, the craziest part of that game to me, though, was Pope John has probably, I mean, that I've saw this year, the best kicker I've saw this year. But Delbarton hit 2 field goals of 45 or better in that
He
game.
was showing out. They were showing out.
And it was raining.
It was
Raining, 50-yard joint. So I'm like, wow. Like, so what I'm looking at now is don't get caught up playing close with Delbarton for playoff time.
Yeah, because it could get.
Yeah. They could do something not a lot of teams could do. Yeah.
Yeah. So shout out to them. Ryan Trafford, 25 carries, 146 yards. Fun fact about he's committed to Navy for lacrosse. So
He talked about that.
yeah. So shout out to you. Did a good job. Delbarton's on a bye this week. They would do to play Hudson Catholic. And now we can get into this week.
Okay.
That's
All
it.
right.
That's it.
That's all. That's all.
good.
Everybody
Yeah,
was on the bye. Bosco was on the bye.
We're doing good.
Seton Hall Prep played PC. We talked about that.
Good.
DePaul was on the bye. The Joes was on the bye. Bergen was on the bye.
Let's get it.
All right. So
This upcoming week now. Let's
this
go.
upcoming week, where do we want to start? So
Let's talk.
PC. Go ahead.
Let's talk about like the rankings. 'Cause we ain't talk about. How we had to
Okay.
fix
Yeah,
that.
we did. We did
So let's-
change the
yeah,
rankings
so let's
around
go with
last
that.
week, and you guys didn't really get that. So are we going with this side or this side? This is what I was wondering. So okay, our number 1 team stayed Bergen Catholic. Last week we did change up the rankings. 2 was Joe's still. Delbarton keeps their number 3 spot. Number 4 was now Red Bank Catholic. 5 was Pope. 6, we were going back and forth between Donovan Catholic and Bosco. And do we want to say why we felt that way?
I
real
think
quick?
now at this point, I think we gotta give Donovan the 5 spot.
Okay.
Hope.
Yeah.
I mean, they only got 1 loss. Now, who they play, well, whatever. You know, until they
Right.
get in the playoffs,
That's right, I
they lose
agree.
again.
I agree.
They
Okay.
gotta take that 5
Shout out to
spot.
Donovan. They holding
Okay.
it down.
All right. Shout out to Donovan Catholic. So then we were also going back and forth between, well, we answered that. Okay, so DePaul would be number 7 and Bosco would be number 8. Are we keeping that or do we want to
So
put
here's the weird thing with that, right? You know, and now I see the trouble that these newspapers have doing the polls, because do I doubt for 1 second that Bosco could beat Donovan?
Clap
No, I
him.
don't doubt him. Do I think Bosco could beat DePaul? Most likely so. You know what I'm saying? But here they are sitting 1 spot in front of what was the 9 spot. Well, yeah, I'll let you go. But I just think that Bosco, like St. Peter's, but I think they got a little more character than St. Peter's. I think they scheduled really rough to begin with. But remember, I told y'all, they're going to make a run at the back end of the season.
I got you. I believe that. But I'm laughing because I'm thinking in my head, somebody had hit me and was like, yo, y'all don't talk about St. Thomas Aquinas. So I wanted to know.
if we should put them there? So, okay, let's talk
No, I'm
about it
saying,
real quick.
let's talk about
Yeah,
it.
let's talk about it. I believe they're 7-0. They might even be 8-0 this week. St. Thomas Aquinas, right? The thing that happens with St. Thomas Aquinas, and anybody can correct me if I'm wrong, is they play all a public school schedule.
Okay.
So that's why if they weren't originally in our top 10, it's because they play a public school schedule. And then when it comes to playoffs,
Yeah, it's the morale schedules. Like we just talked about that to open it up, right? You know, you want to build the morale up of your program, get them believing, be able to sell to some 8th graders.
How
This is a winning
long are
program.
you got to do that?
well, that was okay. So how does it? I don't know how it works. When does it switch? Because I know they're a
When?
central.
What group
They're
are they in?
central. They're Central Super Gold Central Conference or something of that sort. I may be mixing up the
beat
words,
on
but they
all the
are
little
Central.
published
Is
ladies.
that the old Bishop R?
It is.
Yeah.
It is. No, but shout out to St. Thomas Aquinas.
Shout out to you for doing what you're doing, but
I
it
get
is
it.
true. Like how
But y'all
when
punching
do they?
on them. Y'all Hillside, Raw. They just got Rawway. You know what I'm saying? They got Rawway like 31 12 or something. It was like, yo, good game raw way.
So playoffs, what do they do?
So in playoffs, they go non-public.
They go parochial.
Yeah.
So who they play like? What group?
I
4, 3?
don't know
They
what group
used
play.
to be-
What
I think they play
heard-
like DePaul and them, right?
I think, yeah, I remember them playing Joe's before, but I don't know if Joe's was 4 or
That's
3.
group
when they used to
3,
do
right?
that. So I
Yeah.
don't know,
So that'll be interesting to see. We'll come back to you, St. Thomas Aquinas,
Shout
when
out
you
to
make
St.
it.
Thomas
You're
and the
going to go to
coaches, man.
playoffs, and
No,
we'll
and
see.
I don't want y'all to think I was trying to be funny. I was being funny because I thought of the post I had saw. So it was funny to me. But, you know, I mean, if you feel like you should be in the top 10, it's time to start playing some of these guys.
Yeah, I think that if they can, they should reach out next year, try to put the schedule together, and
But
get
we
some
gonna
of these
find out
people.
this year. We're gonna find out. In
Well,
about
we're gonna
3
find.
weeks.
Yeah, we're gonna find out in the playoffs. But if
I
you
actually
think
want to play
that,
them.
Huh?
I want to play them too, yeah.
well, I mean, so next year, like, reach
Yeah,
out,
we'll get
see if
them on
y'all
the
could
schedule.
see what.
Thank
But
you,
I
sir.
guess they're playing central teams, so it would make sense. See, Hillside falls in that central conference also,
you.
so it may be that again, I don't know how this is put together,
Oh.
but they may just play some central teams.
Maybe we can
But
schedule something.
broaden your horizons.
Yeah.
Maybe they can. Can they do it? You could just call the school and say, "Hey, we got
Yeah,
this date.
let's
You got
move.
this date.
Let's
All
get
right,
it.
let's go,
Let's
St.
go.
Thomas Aquinas. We believe
'Cause
in
I'm
you,
a-
and you think you're great. So we'll see what happens at playoff time. Back to the schedule. Then we'll put them on the top 10. Bosco, number 8. So we're going with that. DePaul, number 7, and Bosco, number 8.
In the top 10?
So yeah, see the thing is, DePaul is
think,
3 and
Oz?
3.
I think real
Bosco
talk,
is 2 and
we
4.
ranking a lot of them because of the record. I feel like Bosco should have Donovan Catholic spot. That's a fact. But
they
I
got
give it-
2 wins, right?
Yeah, they have their 2 and 4.
It's bad, but you gotta think of sure. Ain't nobody play the Philadelphia Eagles. Ain't nobody play.
Ain't nobody fault.
All right, cool.
with
Keep
this.
the-
I mean,
like-
but I feel you on that. Like,
Yeah,
I do
the
think they
level
would
of
beat those
competition.
teams.
Yeah.
Like, I do. You know.
All right, I guess we'll come back and see what we could do. But as of right now, Donovan Catholic has the 6th spot. DePaul has the 7. What we're trying to decide right now is it DePaul 7 or Bosco 7?
I
Because
gotta
now,
go with Bosco over DePaul. Right?
what do you think?
It's so tough because as good as Bosco is defensively, DePaul is that good offensively. As bad as Bosco is offensively,
When they play
DePaul
each
is
other.
that bad
I'm gonna say, do they play each other?
They don't
This
play
year?
each other.
Maybe.
Don't even worry about it.
That would be interesting though.
Yeah,
That's got a story.
let's see when they play each other, and then we'll if we have a week or
It's
2.
gotta be within the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, because we
You
only got like 3
know
weeks
what I'm
left,
saying?
right?
Let's see what we got here. Bosco and no. Oh yeah, they got DePaul last game, 10-27.
Oh, that's
Okay.
gonna be hard.
At DePaul.
Wow.
All right, so
That's
for
nice.
that, I say we got to
Go
go off
you.
the schedule.
Got you.
Let DePaul keep the 7th spot. Bosco, if you want it, go get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we definitely.
Who's our next matchup though?
We'll get to that.
Okay,
Let's go.
so number 9 is PC.
Get him out of there. Because we got 9 in PC and Seton Hall.
Senior
at
Hall,
10.
right? So okay.
Oh, Hope-
NPC
hope
out
race.
of there.
Yeah,
Yo,
so
Get
okay.
them out of
yo,
there.
please.
All right.
Matter of fact, you can put St. Thomas there at 10.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yo.
saying? That's St. Thomas. We just slipped y'all in.
All right, St. Thomas
Congratulations, you made it.
Welcome to the party.
Because PC got to go.
PC.
We're gonna come back and rearrange this next week, hopefully.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, next week is gonna be some changes.
yeah, because we've got a lot of people. So let's get into it. So next week we have DePaul playing Pope John. So DePaul is 3 and 3. Pope John is 5 and 2. And right now on our list, DePaul is 7 and Pope is 5.
So Big Body, tell us what's gonna happen with the Popey. What you see?
I don't know what's going on. I think that they might be wearing down.
Well, is Talik playing?
Talib playing.
Is he
How
gonna
can
play?
he?
Okay.
You got kicked out. You got to sit.
He got kicked out.
Oh, yes, he got ejected from the game.
got ejected.
So
He got
does he
ejected
have
from
to
the game,
sit?
my
Does he have to sit? I meant to ask you to find out for us.
If Talib not playing, there's no chance. No disrespect to the Pope. There's no chance. I'm going with DePaul. I'm going with DePaul.
I can't call that. Let's see. Because that's the thing, right? What I'm finding now that Pope is into the tougher teams is they don't play much defense either. So now I got to say whose offense is better.
It's
And
gonna be
tell
tough. Yeah, that's who gonna get
young
him.
boy Derek Zammit is still tossing that thing around. You got Dez.
Nolan.
You got Elijah Burris.
Yeah.
You know,
It's gonna be hard to guard
Sean
those guys.
Stewart,
It's gonna be
you know what I'm saying?
hard.
Corey Davis.
It's gonna be hard to. It's gonna be hard to guard those guys, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
guess, on paper it seems like DePaul, but something's weird. I got a weird feeling about and I'm always doubting Pope, but I just got a weird feeling about this one.
Ain't nothing weird about this one. This is it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with DePaul.
I'm gonna follow suit.
All right, so all three of us we're taking DePaul. So then you have PC, who was our number 9 and lost their number 9 slot. They're both off the chart. So 2 off the chart team. We got our number 9 PC. Well, no, sorry. PC, who's not on the charts, and Prep, who lost their spot last week. So.
Oh, that's a
Pass it to Nas.
no. That's the Pride Bowl right there.
Pride Bowl. I like
that in there.
I'm tell you
Pride Bowl.
right
That's
now.
pretty dope.
I'm telling you right now. That's our game of the week.
No.
I'm just saying.
No, wait, let's continue.
Sorry.
Yeah,
That's the undercard.
okay.
Yeah,
All right, that's the
I
undercard.
like
That's the
that.
undercard.
So our undercard is PC and Prep. Let us know who you're picking. That's our undercard of the week.
Now tell us why. The people got to know, because they'd say, well, one team is.
Hey, yo, listen. Real talk. It's gonna go like this. Prep have to win. This is the 1 and 9.
This is
the one that
This
you
is
had.
the one.
You said routes 1 and 9. This was the one.
This is the game.
Was it originally the one, or you feel like this has to be the one now? Because remember we
No,
started
you know
1
what?
and
You know
9.
what the 1 and 9 was? The first game was Georgia.
You
I had them beating Georgia.
Okay.
I had them beating Georgia, and then they was gonna lose every other game after that.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Now that
But now that PC in the game,
they have showed
they listen. They need this game.
Who's they?
they
PC.
both need this game.
PC need the game.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you why. They got those kids from St. Peter's Prep there.
Who they got? Catino, Makai Catino,
Yeah.
Kenyon Massey,
Kenyon Massey.
Makai Moore.
Yeah.
There's another.
Whoever else. So
Yeah, they got a few
so they
guys.
got a group, right? Prep is 0-7
Six.
Six.
plus the
Yeah.
bye week.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Nas got him losing on the bye week.
so-
He said plus the bye week.
Now,
Oh God.
hear me out, right?
Not losing the bye week.
Look,
0-6.
they both got to win. This might be a
both
draw.
have to win.
This might be a slug fight.
This one-
And it's
It's never going to end.
It's at PC too.
let's go. Hey yo, let's go.
This is
Hey Russo, you got to get this one done, dog. You got to get this one done.
If he lose this game, what does that mean?
They gonna give him one more year.
You think?
One more year.
Then
Then it might be K's. But he got a good freshman group.
people don't care about that when they pay money, bro. Because you gotta understand, you got people like there's people floating around in the background, right? You got Fitz that a lot of guys is high on. You got Augie Huffman still floating around out there. Like, you gotta win, bro. Because that's a destination spot, and it's not hard to get people to come coach there because everybody
Easy
knows
money.
it's an easy spot to get kids too. So you can't afford to lose to an 0-6
Can
team.
Prep afford to lose to them? They can.
I think Prep can afford to lose because you're 0-6. You got nothing else to
So
lose.
everybody just feel like
But here's the thing. If you lose to an 0-6 team, how do you explain that? If you 0-6, you just lost another game.
damn. Let's go Prep. Let's go PC. I ain't choosing nobody, but I felt like this was the one Prep supposed to get.
It's the Pride Bowl.
You didn't feel like that initially.
No, I feel like
But now this is the one they're
this
supposed to
This is the one
gotta
they can get.
Because Seton Hall Prep ain't going. That's going to be a good game too.
It's always a good game, Seton Hall Prep.
No
and
matter
St.
what.
Peter's Prep.
Yeah,
No
yeah.
matter how good St. Peter's is, too.
Yeah, but I think St. Peter's got a chance of getting them too. They could fix it to go Marshall Faulk
What's that?
2-8.
All right, so let me give you my take on this, right? I would think that St. Peter's could really, really, really make this game very interesting. However, after what I saw the last time out at Bosco, it looked like an uninspired group. I believe if they play the same type of football they were trying to play when they believed that Creekside was unlike a team they were going to see in Jersey, when they believed that St. Joe's Philly was just out of this world, right? But once we get back into the league, it's going to be trouble. When they fumbled in overtime, fumbled the game away to Delbarton. Like, think about that. They was that close to winning,
That
right?
killed them.
Then they went out there with DePaul and went blow for a whole half, maybe 3/4, right? And then they went out there and jumped on Joe's and went for a good. I think they went for a whole half, almost into the half, right? They gave up a score right before the half that kind of opened up the floodgates. You get what I'm saying? So that was a team that was still trying. What I saw at Bosco was a team that just rolled over and spread. You know, that's what I saw against Bosco.
So let me ask you this though. So if PC come out and score quick on them, bang, they heads drop.
I don't know, because now here's the other element. That becomes a rivalry of some sort. When you can look on the other side of the ball and say we're in this position because you guys thought y'all found something better, and now we got the opportunity to show you didn't. That might become a throw the records out. You know what I'm saying? Like this is about me versus you. It's personal.
Yeah.
Exactly as Dion said. It's personal. So there's a lot of things at work here that makes this like. For two bad teams, this is like, to me, this is must-see football, man.
Yeah.
Like, this is like...
And it's going to be at PC.
It says at PC, so it's Friday night?
Yeah.
I can't go, but somebody tell me about it.
Yeah.
I'll be keeping tabs on it.
Yeah, we got to see what
who you
happens.
Oh, man. Russo don't fail me now.
How about you?
So that's where you went with that. You went with PC.
Okay,
it's so tough for me because two things I've been doing all year and I've been getting wrong. I've been going PC, getting it wrong. I've been going St. Peter's, getting it wrong. And I said I wasn't messing with neither one of them no more. And now here we are. Y'all back at the table together.
That's exactly how I feel.
Oh,
I'm saying,
man.
like,
and this is such a
what's
tough
gonna happen
one
when it gets to
because I'm gonna be honest. You know, if it was like I said, if it was the prep that still believe, I'd have them beating Paramus Catholic by 2 touchdowns. The prep that believes. But the prep I saw go up there to C.L.T.A Stadium, I got PC by 14. But if prep, prior to C.L.T.A Stadium, rolling up there on Paramus Road, they're going to beat Paramus Catholic by 2 touchdowns.
I could say this. If Speedy get going and they running the ball, it could be a long night for PC.
Yeah.
I don't see it happening. But if Speedy could get going and they get Speedy going, it could, because PC D-line ain't going to cause that much fits, I feel like, to prep offensive line.
Yeah, okay.
So prep offensive line could get their bully on, right? And then now you got to stop the quarterback and Speedy. If they get into that play and then let the pass open up, then real talk, it's good night, PC.
Here's the flip side. The same thing could be said for prep with Xavier Williams. Let's talk about that though, because we watched the game, and Xavier Williams was doing this thing to Seton Hall Prep, and it was like the PC staff just didn't like the way it looked or something, because they kept pulling the man out.
Yeah.
And he's literally single-handedly keeping you in this game.
Yeah.
Now, granted, he was going both sides.
No,
but
I don't care about that. What they gotta let go and let it happen is let the boy go crazy and then see what he could do. You know what I'm saying? Because he's proven that he's already proven. Allow him to go. He's the oldest back you got there. He's been there for the jump from when PC was right. That's his time. Let him go crazy then.
Yeah.
And then let anything else flow off of him. But don't have him in the mix.
They better let him go crazy, because with this new era of transfer portal, bro, he's caught some eyes. I think some people gonna be in them people DMs.
Man, I don't know. But only thing is, yeah, you're right. Yeah. I think it's gonna be it could be Speedy. Oh my God.
That's crazy, right? They was on the I knew he was going with this.
Oh my God. I just peeped this, right? So think about it. Both of them played on the same team. Now the grandfather, shout out to Gerard. Gerard always felt like his grandson was being shortchanged and not running. And if you think about one of the days, he had to play guard. So he was blocking for Speedy. But when X got his carries, he always busts his joints too. So he just felt like if my grandson had more carries like Speedy, he could show y'all too. So now,
this is that.
these are the matchups I like.
Well, so I'm thinking, well, I said this to Prep at one point, and I know it's right here, but you might need to switch up the formula. Like, you saying the QB is underthrowing, overthrowing.
PC?
Yeah. Like, maybe, who's your second string? Who else do you have? What is he doing? What is he capable of? Put him in a little bit. Let X do what he do. Let him throw the ball to Kenyon. Let's do something. Like, see if he can make some completions.
They ain't been playing Gabe. Gabe, he should be getting his time. I know he played a little bit the other week, I guess, of the week.
Delbarton.
Yeah, and I heard that when he got in, he made a couple of good
That's probably why
passes.
he didn't get back in. Because that's the quickest way to start a quarterback controversy. And I don't think they want
Listen, you want a coaching controversy or want a quarterback controversy?
You feel like
What you gonna do?
Gabe is ready to go?
He's been ready. Like, that's one thing I could say. The kid's played his whole life. You know, like, I'm not going to kid myself in saying, like, his arm is as big as the starting quarterback for Paramus Catholic.
Will you feel like he's better at, like...
He's very... He can read defenses, right? So if you watch what's going on right now, they're struggling to be able to identify coverages, make pinpoint accurate throws, right? You know what I'm saying? So, like, it's a lot of overthrowing, a lot of underthrowing, a lot of misreads. The starting kid is in my opinion, a better athlete with a bigger arm. But Gabe has a better processor. And he understands, he has a better feel for what's going on around him. So, and if in the perfect world, I would let them both spin and then go with the hot hand.
Yeah.
But if you do that, you might cause a problem that you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube after that.
I mean, at this point, you going to lose to a 0-16, or are you worried about the
pride?
spill?
I know Rusi ain't going like that.
So that's what. If there's an opportunity, I see. Let him. Yeah, maybe not take one out, but like I said, switch up the formula. See what's working. You know, you have X, you have Xavier. Just make sure Kenyon. You have
Xavier Williams.
You have
Two
other
Xaviers.
people's- Okay, so you have some things that you could work with. I'm just saying. And if you take that advice, oh God, I took PC last week and I was the only one that took him and they lost.
Who did I take? Did I take somebody yet?
I don't know. I don't think so. Go ahead so I can still process. I'm processing.
You know what? I'm going to root for the underdog, man. I'm going with St. Peter's.
Okay.
Oh, that's the underdog. Okay.
St. Peter's is very young. If the kids that's on PC had stayed, a lot of kids that's thrust into action for St. Peter's right now would be playing backup, waiting their turn. So with all of the kids that exited between headed to Irvington and Paramus Catholic and wherever else they headed, it forced some kids that wasn't quite their time yet to be catapulted out there. So now they're very talented kids. It's just they're a year away. So I don't want to say they're not talented. They just they're not PC. PC has older kids, more seasoned kids that's been around.
So you saying like next year, like St. Peter's will be back in the mix?
I don't know, but I just think that next year those kids it's their time now.
Yeah,
those kids
they'll be
juniors,
gone.
You know,
They'll be gone.
Yeah, so.
Do you think it'll be
Oh,
any
wow.
type of familiarity? I did. Do you think there'll be any type of familiarity that like Hassan Moore and Kenyon Massey, they've played together before?
That's a heck of a matchup.
Yeah,
that's
so
a good one too.
They've played before, so is it kind of something like I know you. I know your strengths, I know your weaknesses.
It's thorough. Like I could see them. Well, King. I don't know if King go both ways, but
Haas
I know Haas do. No, I'm saying I know Haas do. I know Haas is like just guard. I don't know. I don't know if they would do that.
So I think Haas would be there. Here's the thing though.
I think if
not for nothing,
Haas guarding him, he won't be just that effective offensively.
Haas won't be that effective.
What? You got to really run with dealing with King, and he knows that. What happens is you either got to say it's a sacrifice. This is what we're gonna do today. You're either gonna play receiver.
Then that would bode well with what you brought up last week. You got Hunter.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would let him. Now, if Haas had to just cover Kenyon and say, "Yo, forget this. I'm gonna sacrifice. I'm gonna just play this. Let's bring Hunter in," type of thing. Then
So
You
Prep, you
saying
can switch
something.
up your formula
But for him
too.
to go both ways like that, that's a lot.
So I'm gonna add another element to that.
Shout out to my boy Hunter Watson too. You know what I'm saying? Fourth quarter Hunter.
Kenyon has been open, I'll say 8 out of 10 times, right? The problem has been he's been underthrown or
Right.
overthrown.
the
So
quarterback.
for lack of better words, Haas don't gotta be all that great. He don't have to be all that great because it ain't just about Kenyon getting open. It's about getting the ball to him. So I've watched game where James Deli was wide open, got behind the defense, overthrown, and these are difference making plays that could have had you beat Seton Hall Prep. These are the plays that could have made you beat Pope John by 14 or better, right? But everybody acting like they don't see it, but everybody sees it. Nobody want to talk about it. Keep it a buck, gonna talk about it.
I
We
said
seen
switch
it.
up
That's
the-
what's
switch up-
going on.
switch up the formula.
So I don't know if Haas gotta be lights out. I don't know if he gotta be running with Kenyon or because a lot of times the person that's supposed to be checking Kenyon is 3 steps behind.
So you're saying that Paramus Catholic is basically shooting themselves. They're giving these games away.
So you
lot
over
of-
Prep. What you got?
This is hard. I'm going PC.
Okay. There we go.
going
2 PCs and 1 Prep.
PC. I said this last week, and because y'all didn't get a chance to see it, I'm gonna go with you again. This is it. I'm with Lenny on this. After this, I love you, Xavier Williams. I love you, Kenyon Massey. Like, shout out to y'all, Coach Russo. Hopefully you hear what I'm saying. Switch up the formula. Do some things. Same to you, Prep. All right.
All right,
Moving right along.
Bless the Prep.
So Bosco plays Seton Hall Prep, which is interesting also because record-wise, here we go back now. Record: Bosco is 2-4, and Seton Hall Prep is 2-4. Now, what are you thinking?
I don't know. Where they playing at Grand Hotel
That's what I
Stadium?
was about to look at. Bosco.
Am I-
Prep.
If it's at Seton Hall, I'm going with the Pirates at Seton Hall.
Okay, so it's at home game. It's at Seton Hall.
I'm going with the Hall.
Saturday.
I'm going with the Prep.
Why is that? Because they got home field advantage?
Yeah, but I like him.
I'm so glad he did that. Go ahead.
That's it. Shout out to my man.
Let me tell y'all why I'm
too.
glad he did that. Cause last year Nas was batting like 1,000, bro. Like every week he right? So this is an opportunity for me to be right over him. Bosco is going to beat Seton Hall Prep, and this is why Bosco is going to beat Seton Hall Prep.
Yeah.
Bosco offense is very pedestrian, but their defense is good. So that right there is going to make it a ball game.
Now they got
But-
the young boy playing quarterback now.
But who, Bosco? But that's what I'm talking about. So with Seton Hall Prep, both of those guys, I watched them against Paramus Catholic. And as I said about St. Peter's, is the same thing with those guys. Those guys are good. They just it's not their time yet. And you can see it. They made some plays, but against a veteran, experienced defense like Bosco's bringing, it's
I don't know,
gonna be
man.
more bad.
I'm riding with the young boy Caden Davis, man.
It's hot. That sounds hot to say. But then you got to look at the QBR rating, right? You can't just look at the completion that you did make and it went for that. You know, and like I said, that's big for a freshman, right? But when you start talking about Jaden and oh boy, I'm drawing a blank now with the Bosco D. But they got a lot of Jordan Thomas, right? You got Jordan Thomas, right? You got you got the kid that's committed to Monmouth. I'm drawing a blank right now, but they got some grown people on that defense.
Yeah.
So a lot of things that you got away with, or
They
actually,
got my young boy Marquette Dorsey on that defense.
Oh, yeah.
you know, they got some guys on there, right? So I think that defense is going to give them fits. Damn, no pun intended, right? I think that defense is going to give them fits. My question is Sabella, which he's had a bye week, right? So he's had 2 weeks to prepare for this. And Sabella is one of those guys, right? He's one of those coaches that do more with less. Shout out to him and Fitz. They do more with less.
Yeah, I think Seton Hall and Bosco kind of like the same caliber of team. So I think it just would be a good game.
Interesting.
Let's see. Let me see what I got. So Seton Hall Prep lost to Red Bank by what, 6 or something like that?
Yeah.
They lost by 5. They lost to Red Bank. Red Bank lost to Bergen by 13. Bergen blew Bosco. Rivalry? Do we chalk that out to rivalry?
Right.
Yeah, it's gonna be a close game.
It is. And they playing at Seton Hall Prep, dog.
Yeah, and they got Seton Prep got a way of sneaking up on. I just think they too young. Well, Liam was dressed last week. If he plays, then I'd side with you and say advantage Seton Hall Prep at home because they do tend to shock teams there at this time of the year. But something just tells me Liam's not playing, and Bosco's had 2 weeks to plan for them. Bosco's going to beat them by 2 scores.
We got to see that.
Oh, I wrote it. Maybe that was. Listen, I wrote it on the wrong one, so I'm gonna just go with what I wrote.
For Bosco?
I wrote it. I was writing it for Liddy. I put it under
I hope
myself.
I'm gonna get this off.
So, here's the thing. I feel like they both have decent. They both have decent defensive players on both teams, but can they score?
That's the question. Can they score?
Can they score?
And I think they both struggle to score.
Yeah. If the quarterback, for Bosco has tightened up also, get some stuff going with Bobby. You got Bobby Mays, Logan Bush. I'm going with Bosco.
Okay.
I'm going with Bosco.
Well,
Bosco got to win this game.
Yeah.
I think
It's
it
one of
means
those-
more to Bosco than it does Seton Hall Prep. Because,
but it's at home for Seton Hall Prep.
yeah, right. But I think Bosco, like, their back is against the wall.
Seton Hall back is against the wall. They roll.
I think that Seton Hall Prep crowd is a little more friendly to a record like than Bosco. No, I think the alumni at Bosco, like, they don't.
Yeah.
They don't,
They
play that,
don't like
you know,
the
so
likes
this
of
don't happen
2
there.
and
I
4.
got you.
Yeah, I could understand that. Yeah. So that's what it is. So Nas has Seton Hall Pirates, Lenny has Bosco, I have Bosco. Moving on up. Donovan Catholic is playing Red Bank Regional.
I'm going Red Bank.
Red Bank Regional, not Red Bank Catholic.
Oh,
Well, we was
Donovan.
focused
Yeah, that's why I was when y'all said, I'm like, do
Right,
they know
right.
something that I don't know? All right, that's another thing of what we speak about.
Another
It's a
St.
lot
Thomas
of
appointments.
right. The
On a higher
non-public's
level.
playing public, right? Red Bank Catholic plays Howell.
Donovan Catholic in a landslide.
Right.
back.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I forgot to even
Red
say
Bank
it.
Catholic, Howell.
Red Bank Catholic. They should win that. And that being said, Red Bank Catholic has only lost to Bergen, and Donovan Catholic has only lost to Joe's. So just to
Okay.
put that
All
out
right,
there.
guys. And they played y'all tough, so.
Who?
Wait, they played what?
They played
Wait,
y'all
who-
tough at
who's
the
y'all?
beginning.
Who's
I
y'all?
mean, I'm saying
played Joe's
Joe's tough, yeah.
They didn't.
They just
They didn't. They jumped out. I think 14-0. It's like 2 quick possessions. They was up. Spiked
Yeah, that's
up
what
again.
my boy Rosano had the little this shit. I like what he
Yeah.
did.
Is that sturdy? Is that? Oh, that's what that
I
is.
think it's a little Uzi thing or something like
Oh, that's
that.
a little Uzi?
Yeah, something like that. Don't get me the lion.
I mean, actually, so last week's show got canceled, man. Shout out to Nate the General.
Oh
man.
yes.
Nate showed out that game, man.
did.
Nate's been showing out for a good part of this season, man.
Absolutely.
Like,
King of the little big dudes.
Right. So I guess we're getting there. So now to get to the game of the week. The game of the week is number 1, Bergen Catholic versus number 2, St. Joe's Regional Montvale. So in the comments, we want you to tell us who do you have winning, Bergen or Joe's? All right, Nas. Wait, before you guys choose, I have some questions that I put for you guys. So Nas, what challenges do you think that Joe's are going to face with Bergen?
They got to stop Kyle Sanders. I think the line up front.
who's got to stop Carl Sanders?
Joe's?
Joe's.
That okay?
Joe's got to stop Kyle Sanders.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And then not just that. Now, this is very interesting.
But Nas, just
Wait,
think of
wait.
the whole picture of Bergen. And
Yeah.
that's what you choose to stop when you playing Bergen.
I show him out. No. Listen here. I'm going. That's the run. That's a part of the run.
But the run is not something that
That's
Bergen's
what-
been hurting anybody on.
No. That's what Joe's normally do to stop, like to take over a game and shut somebody running.
That's
out
what
now.
Bergen does to take
Okay,
over the game.
all right.
Joe's let you.
I just run all over him. Okay. I will
that
let
was
back.
last year.
All right,
But
so
you
listen,
get what I'm trying. I don't want to
hear me out.
disrespect nobody.
No. Now we get to see Jabir Joseph versus Quincy
That's
Porter.
that's a
That's the
that's
big
a key.
matchup. That's the key
Like
matchup.
to me, because with Bergen, that's where everything is predicated off Quincy Porter.
Yeah. So
Right.
you saying
Like, you know what I'm
everything?
saying?
So
Like-
you saying everything else that? So you saying that the rest of Joe's defensive backs are capable of stopping the
I
other?
didn't say that. You said that.
I'm asking you.
You said that. What I'm saying is
'Cause
that the focus is not to stop Kodge or any of the other running backs, because
It's on
that's not
Quincy.
what Bergen's identity is this year. Bergen's identity is once they get you stretched out, you know, and they play guys both ways. They'll have a Naeem Parrish going wide receiver. They have Jordan Thomas go to wide receiver, but it's the kid Quincy Porter, and they move him along like DePaul moves along Dez until they find something they really like there. And he always finds something he really like. As we talked about, we call him Louis V.
Louis V.
We call him Louis V, right? You know, the boy travels and he good everywhere he go. So that's what they do.
So
And
you-
then-
so-
hold on. And then when you start watching that, they hit Kodge, the shit opens, and he's out.
So let me ask
That's
you
how
this
that
though.
happens.
So
you know,
do so
shout out to Dante too.
so
Dante
do
Kane,
yeah Dante Kane
Shout out to
and
Mujahid.
Mujahid.
You
Russell.
know, no
Mujahid.
disrespect to the run game.
No, big rival. Man, shout out to Mujahid. I want to see him go crazy too. But I'm looking at it like this. Okay, with Quincy, right, and Jameer, you saying is Jameer Joseph going to travel this week, or we going to just let Quincy pick his poison?
So to me, Jameer can only travel but so much, right? Because what I seen him do in some games recently, I just saw this the first time I saw them do that. Usually what'll happen is he would play one side of the field. Then they played Donovan Catholic. And what they did was they put him like at safety. And wherever Michael Thomas went, when they broke the huddle, Jameer would go leave, you know, he would line up in the middle of the field, find him and go there, right? But now you're a coach. If you motion after that, then what happens?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So I'm saying all that to say, it's an opportunity for other guys like Cam, like Issa, to put themselves on the map, because it's coming. Whether it's through Naeem, whether it's through Jordan, whether it's through Quincy, it's coming. Because you got to understand that a quarterback's got a certain amount of time to make a decision. So although I might like to get on Quincy, if it ain't there, I got to go on my progressions. And what we saw the last 3 games or so is they've really, really been trying to exploit the other side of the field. And this is Bergen Joes. This is the Crazies. This is the Green Knights. This is Orodale Ave. This is like everybody's in a phone booth on top of you. You can't hear yourself think. You know what I'm saying? And for some of these guys, Cam was injured as a junior, didn't play varsity as a sophomore. Issa, you just came to the big league, right? I ain't seen that Bergen situation, right? When it's and you can't hear.
You can't hear.
It's gonna be interesting, bro. Somebody's gonna get tested and somebody's gonna leave. It's an opportunity. This is the games where you start
I want to
seeing.
know who's gonna cover Big Boy Nate too, and
So
they got those guys too.
I'm-
That's on Joe's.
Yeah,
and
I'm
then
getting
you
there.
go-
One question.
I got
Let her
you.
do her thing.
Yeah. So okay. So I'm pulling the question around to you, Lenny, but the opposite way around. What challenges do you feel like Bergen's going to face with Joe's?
What Bergen faces with Joe's. So Joe's is an enigma in the sense of what I would say Bergen, the challenge Bergen would face, they may not face, because you ever seen somebody just overcoach it? Right? Like the reality of it is, if I had to keep it a million, they talk about they got the best DBs and all of that. Well, Joe's got some of the best receivers. And ain't nobody stopped them from getting what they want out of that. But it's like they are dead set on showing you that we can just run all over you. And I don't think you're going to do that to Bergen, because Bergen has been pretty good at not allowing that to happen for years now, right? However, I think you can do it if you establish that pass first, right? So when you ask me that, I'm going to be honest with you. Can't nobody on Bergen check Nate, period. Very few people in this state or in this country can check Nate. And if I was the head coach, I keep it real simple. If I was the OC, I keep it real simple. I'm locking on, because they play a zone. But Nate is such a 7-on-7 guy that he'll find those spots, right? And then, when you do that, you got to think that you got These is all 3-year kids, right? I mean, excuse me. These kids have been starting since sophomore year. Nate has been there since freshman year. You got Jovan Williams. You got Makai Rosignol. You got Nate. You got Jimmy Montesero, right? The boat gonna leak somewhere if you was to go with that strategy. Do I think you just gonna think you gonna come be tough boy football and run over Bergen? Absolutely not. And if you try to prove that, you're just gonna be wasting downs, and now you're gonna be in predictable passing situations. I hope I answered your question.
Okay.
So,
So I knew that. As the reason why I stopped you, because I knew by asking him that question that Nate would come up. I knew that the receiving core would come up. I knew that the DB. They said they're the best DBs in the state. That's what they said.
That's what they
so
said.
Now I feel like it's time to prove it. Right now it's time to go up against what could be some of the best receivers in the state. And now what you're gonna do? You also have
no. Don't be nice. It's the best receiving core in the state. The numbers say it is.
Right. And so now you have to add in.
Now they're going against the number one player in the state that happened to be a wide receiver.
Okay.
With that, all right, you threw me
off. Yeah.
No,
so
I'm saying that
Bergen's defense versus Joe's offense.
Oh, my bad.
Okay.
I just flipped it, but I'm just saying that's the same. All right, hold on. I apologize for flipping it on you, but
that's okay.
I'm saying you said it's a receiving core,
right?
So Bergen receiving. We basically saying Bergen got a dominant receiver and a bunch of other guys that play well.
That can play well.
Yeah,
yes.
They play both sides. Even if they had opportunities to play, they play both sides. That's another thing when it comes down to Joe's. They're quick. So if you're playing both sides of the ball, you're gonna get tired after a while. And so if Joe's pays attention to the Chaminade game, that's go up top.
Don't mention that.
I'm just saying.
That's
you gotta go up top.
Club.
I understand that it's a different ball game, but you have so many different options. Go up top.
So look,
and then hold on. What I was getting to is now you got to talk about quarterback versus quarterback, because now you have Dom and you have Pat. Now Pat also, he can throw the ball, he can run. What are you going to do? That's where now the differences come. The differences come in the quarterbacks. They come into special teams. We're not going to go too much into that. But, like, now what are you going to do? How do you stop that? How do you stop a quarterback that can run, running backs that can catch, wide receivers that can run?
You stop that by keeping that offense on the field.
Is it time to say your pick?
Go ahead.
I got Bergen Catholic beating Joe's with all of that being stopped.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So,
how do you stop them as a coach?
I mean, we're going to see the game. You know, I just think that they got a lot
What would you do?
I don't know.
You can't just say that. You got to say why.
So
I'm looking at it. That's
right.
groupieism right now.
No,
you're saying they stem, but you don't know why.
What would you? You're a coach. Right,
so
I mean, I've known you to coach a lot of offense, but if you were the defensive coordinator, right? So what would you do?
It's tough. It's tough to stop Joe's. Joe's is. I feel like the difference is going to be the up front. It's the up front. I think Bergen up front going to be coming with all that.
D-line? Mm-hmm. I think that, yeah.
So, and then I feel that Bergen DBs are good enough.
With that D-line pressure, they don't got to cover long.
And my man going.
But that's why I said I would lock on Nate.
And
because that's quick stuff.
Got you. I get that. And I like Joe's. Don't get it twisted. I'm like, I could have said, I could have went either or with that. The reason I took Bergen was because I felt that what Quincy, he said this to me. Now how he not put in my head where Quincy was going to go other places. It's no funny. It's nobody else on Joe's that could guard him besides Jameer Joseph. And Jameer Joseph is going to have his battles. That kid is special. So when it's so happen, you got to guard him, and then you got the guys like that. This are the guys like Naeem. They start getting a little head dump here, and another kid, Jordan Thomas, start getting a little bit of head. Then here come Kaj. That's a lot to stop with that up front. Now I'm looking at their offensive line up front versus Joe's defensive line, where they're gonna have to prove
Joe's D line. Don't do that.
They've been flying.
Now we talk about Bergen D line advantage. Well, Joe's D line.
Okay, then that's a game. I feel like it's gonna be a good game.
But yeah, I think it could be. It's gonna be. It could be. I got a way where I think it could be. It can become an avalanche for Joe's at home, at their home. I know a scenario. but everything on paper says it's going to be a good game. It says it's going to be a good game because although Joe's averages 40.5 points per game, Bergen averages in the state. You know, out of the state is lower, but in the state they averaged 38 point something as well, right? But their defense has been far more stingier than Joe's.
Okay.
I think that Joe's presents more matchup problems for Bergen than Bergen can present for Joe's. But I think that Bergen is more disciplined, a more disciplined defense than St. Joe's is. Bergen's linebacker play, I love him. Number 10, man, I'm in love with that kid at the linebacker. I forget his name, it'll come to me. But he's been playing lights out. Christian Gonzalez. He's been playing lights out. Then they got some good dudes on the D line. I think they're more disciplined. I think that when it's man for man, all of those favor Joe's. I'm just gonna be honest with you. All of the man for man matchups favor Joe's. I just think the discipline of that defense, that Bergen defense wins games. Defense wins championships. Not that I don't think it can be exploited. I do. But again, as we sit here on this show all the time, it's just that thing where it's just like it's an enigma. Who you gonna see, right? Which one you gonna see? We know who we gonna see at Bergen, right? We can close our eyes and say exactly what they're going to do. You know what they're going to do is they're going to play field position. They're going to use their special teams to flip the field. Then they're going to use their good defense to keep you down there. Then they're going to get the ball on short fields, 30, 40 yards, 50 yards. And then they're going to do what they do. Do I think Bergen can go 80 yards drives on Joe's like Joe's can go on Bergen? Hell no. But I think that Bergen is going to play disciplined football and use their special teams to exploit the flaws that's been with Joe's for years. Since Augie Huffman has left, Joe's ain't been able to field the onside kick. So I wouldn't be surprised if they flip the coin toss, Bergen defers the ball and kicks it onside and get it right back and score with half a field and we open up just like that and that crowd going wild. You know what I'm saying? Until Joe showed me something different. I didn't watch them have the hands team on the field. I watched them. They had the whole hands team on the field. And St. Peter's of all teams, just kicked them and got 2 of them. Now we going with one of the best and most disciplined teams in the state. So, man for man, I think, like, I'm just being honest. If Joe's had the discipline that Bergen has, Joe's is like 20 points better than Bergen.
All right, so who you going with?
Day. I'm going with Bergen. They won't be that day. Now, yeah, I'll wait till the next time because there will be a next time.
All right.
There will be a next time. So, I wanted to point out that Joe's has number 10 too, Spencer Villa.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And he's gonna show up.
Yeah,
we know that we talked about Jalen Nicholas. He's gonna show up. What I will say, and I don't want to leave out Ricky Anastasia and Ben Ferrara. Like, they're going to show up. And they've been showing up. They just have to be, like you said, disciplined. Stick to your assignment. Do what you do. Now, the environment at Bergen is different. I will say that. Like, the environment is, it's very closed in. It's very loud. It's hard to, like, keep focused. But just keep focused. I'm gonna go with Joe's. I think that.
No, you can't just do that.
You
gotta tell us why.
I'm going. I feel like I basically said the reason why, but I'll reiterate it. Right? You have Pat now. You do have the wide receiver core. That is an amazing wide receiver core. So it's not just worry about Quincy. You have to worry on their side, right? Okay, you have to worry about Makai Rosenthal. You have to worry about Nate Bailey. You have to worry about Jimmy Montesano. You have to worry about Javon Williams.
So do you think a zone, because that's all, Bergen doesn't man up. They go into a zone. Do you think a zone can stop that?
I don't think it can stop that.
With the good pressure from the D-line? And blitzing from the linebackers.
I mean, you can try
because they're gonna come with the
right, and then
blitz.
then come with the corner blitz, and then Pat, he gone.
But that's okay. So let's talk about him.
So that's where
I wrote some notes about Pat.
Okay,
right? Let's talk about him because you say Pat is gone, right? And I'll sum Pat up like this. I said, when he's good, Joe's is great. When he's okay, Joe's is good, and he's got to be great for Joe's to be elite in this game.
Absolutely.
And that means decision making, right? The decision, like everybody loves to see quarterbacks extend plays and keep their eyes down the field, which he does a great job of. But too many times, once he's doing that, Joe's receivers don't get separation, and those result in sacks and bad things happening. So he needs to be more decisive. He needs, if it's not there, he's looking to move chains. Use that athleticism. Use that 4.6, 4.5
Right.
laser to move the chains. Then that's going to be a headache.
Right.
But if he does what he did against St. St. Anthony's, in which he was good, but being good don't beat Bergen for that.
Right.
He's got to be playing.
He
at
has to be
his
Pat
level.
Grusser.
Yeah, he's got to be at his level because
Pat,
Pat
show up as
Grusser's
Pat Grusser.
basic level is great for a lot of other quarterbacks.
Absolutely.
But for him in this offense, he's got to be better.
Yeah. And so with all of that, plus Jameer Joseph and their DBs, I gotta.
She named the whole squad.
I did.
I hope they win with that.
I did. That's
Shout
what you
out to
got.
Jameer Joseph. That's my guy, Nate Bailey, Makai Rosnall. I mean, I be naming the whole team. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Issa
So that's my
Salam,
point.
You know?
Like at the end of the day, if they
My
play
guy,
solid,
Terrence
and I
Sumter.
will say that, right? Terrence Sumter,
He gonna have a
John
big day.
Foster,
He gonna have a big
Yasin
day.
Willis. We didn't even bring up Yasin Willis.
The
Like,
train, because we know that we're talking about the run game, but
right.
it's going to be
So,
that's
but
gonna
and the
be-
reason
that's
I
gonna
brought
be
that up, I want to
interesting.
say that too. I brought that up because last year it was made clear, like, once Bergen stops your run game, you're done, right? I don't think that's the case this year. Like, and I think that Joe's can take a page. I understand it's not the same, but you can take a page out of Shamanaz's book and go do what you do.
Yeah, do what you do. But it's a different up front. It's a different.
It's different.
chasing
I will
down.
say to Joe, to the Joe's fans, you get loud.
They
Get
got-
loud
they got
too.
canceled.
When Bergen has the ball, you gotta get loud because they need to feel that same
How many sacks
thing.
Kinsler got on the year?
I don't know. I can't even put it out there. But
I don't
bet you-
even want to see
I know
Kinsler touching
I know.
Grusser. That's scary.
I know Kinsler gonna have something this week.
I know that's
So you
scary.
can bet
Let's
that. I don't
not even
care- I
talk
don't
that
care
into
what-
existence.
I don't
We
care
ain't
what
talking
he
about
had.
nobody sacking nobody.
But no, that was
That's
it.
scary,
So
but
was that our last
that
game?
is our game of the week. That is the last game. That is our number 1 team versus our number 2 team.
Good. That's
So-
gonna be a big weekend of football, man. I look forward to
Absolutely.
it. And just like that,
Let us know what you think.
yeah.
Another episode of
Keep it a buck.
Buck.
Peace.